Our New Testament reading comes from the book of Acts, chapter 16, verses 9 through 15. Listen for the word of the Lord. Now during the night, Paul had a vision. There stood a man of Macedonia, pleading with him, and saying, "Come over to Macedonia and help us." When he had seen the vision, he immediately tried to cross over to Macedonia, being convinced that God had called us to proclaim that good news to them. We set sail from Troas and took a straight course to Samothrace, the following day to Neapolis, and from there to Philippi, which is the leading city of the district of Macedonia and a Roman colony. We remained in the city for some days. On the Sabbath day, we went outside the gates by the river, where we were supposed there was a place of prayer, and we sat down and spoke to the women who had gathered there. A certain woman named Lydia, a worshiper of God, was listening to us. She was from the city of Thyatira, and a dealer in purple cloth. The Lord opened her heart to listen eagerly to what was said by Paul. And when she and her household were baptized, she urged us, saying, "If you have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come and stay at my home." And she prevailed upon us. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Thank you, choir. Today is St. Patrick's Day. Now, it doesn't happen very often that St. Patrick's Day falls on a Sunday. So today we're going to take a little bit of time to examine his legacy. Now, many of you are wearing green, and you might wear a button that says, "Kiss me, I'm Irish." There'll be parades today all over the country. The Chicago River will be dyed green. But what about the rest of the story? Late 4th, early 5th centuries, the known world is ostensibly Christian, having been converted by Constantine and by the Roman Emperor Constantine. And then, of course, the Romans took over the world, and everywhere the Romans were was the known world. Well, somewhere in northern England, there lived a Roman Briton named Patricius, or Patrick. And his family was an aristocratic Christian family, and Patrick's grandfather, was actually a priest. But the family was only marginally Christian, maybe Christmas and Easter. Patrick himself, Carly, was 16, and he lived on the wild side of alienated and ungoverned youth, he wrote in his later writings. Not unlike most 16-year-olds, I might add. Well, that year, there was a band of pirates that came from the island of Ireland, the pagan island of Ireland, called Celts. These were Celts. And they came and they raided England, and they kidnapped Patrick and others and took them back to Ireland. And Patrick was sold as a slave to a druid named Miliuk. Now, Patrick was sent out in the fields to herd cattle and sheep. He had little food. He was, after all, a slave. He had very inadequate clothing. It was cold most of the time. And he was treated pretty harshly. But out there in the hills alone, Patrick began to pray and to rediscover God. He writes in his confessions that towards the end of his life, "After I reached Ireland, I used to pasture the flocks every day, and I used to pray many times a day. More and more did the love of God and my fear of him and faith increase, and my spirit was moved so that in the day I said from one up to 100 prayers, and in the night a like number. Besides, I used to stay out in the forests and on the mountains, and I would wake up before daylight to pray in the snow, in icy coldness and rain, and I used to feel neither ill nor any slothfulness, because as I now see, the Spirit was burning in me at that time." So Patrick, out there in the hills on his own, became a devout Christian, and his captors noticed the change come over this young man. And Patrick learned the language of these Celtic Irish. He learned to understand their culture and their religion. One writer said he began to see them as human and not as the barbarians that most Romans considered people outside the empire to be. He was a slave in Ireland for 6 years. So by the time he was about 22, he had a vision. A voice said to him, "You are going home. Look, your ship is ready." And so Patrick walked 200 miles and negotiated his way on a ship bound for Gaul, now France, and then from there back to England. So not too long after he was home, Patrick had another vision. In this, he dreamed that a man named Victorius, whom Patrick may have known in Ireland, came to Patrick with letters from his former captors in Ireland. As he read the letters, Patrick says, "I read the beginning of the letter, the voice of the Irish, and as I was reading the beginning of the letter, I seemed at that moment to hear the voices of those who were beside the forest of Foclut, which is set near the western sea. And they were crying out as if with one voice, 'We beg you, holy youth, and you shall come and walk among us again.'" Patrick called this his Macedonian call, like we read about with Paul and his companions in the book of Luke and Acts. Patrick believed that he was being called back to Ireland and to walk among the very people who had enslaved him and treated him so harshly. And so he studied for the priesthood. And when he was ordained, he convinced his superiors to let him return to Ireland. It had been 200 years since a Christian missionary had been anywhere outside the Roman territory. The Roman church, assumed the barbarians were impossible to reach, for they were neither literate nor intelligent enough to understand Christianity, let alone have the capacity to become civilized if they did understand it. But Patrick did know these people. He understood the Gaelic language. He had lived among them. And he wanted to bring Christianity to them. So he became a new kind of missionary. Typically, when the Roman church would go into a new place and wanted converts to be Romanized culturally and Christianized religiously. Once the civilized population became Christian, they were expected to read and to speak Latin, to adopt Roman customs, and to do church the Roman way. As George Hunter III has written, the rule had changed from when in Rome, do as Romans do, to when anywhere, do as the Romans do. Not unlike the Catholic missionaries here in California in recent centuries. They would go into a place and say, to become civilized, you have to be just like us. But Patrick was different. Instead of going into a city and building a church and expecting the people to come to him, Patrick engaged in relational missionary. He worked among them, and he earned their trust. He prayed for sick people, and he helped out wherever he could. It is said that he once blessed a river and prayed for the people to catch more fish. Very helpful missionary. And this way, he made the sacred mundane. He found God and revealed God in the plainest of circumstances. And Patrick and his followers planted some 700 churches this way in just a few short years. And the effects of his ministry were amazing. Slave trade eventually disappeared in Ireland during Patrick's lifetime. The Irish helped save civilization by copying precious manuscripts that would have been lost during the Dark Ages in Europe. Legend says it, that he drove all of the snakes out of Ireland, but there have never been snakes in the Emerald Isles. That's just a myth. So what? So what? On this St. Patrick's Day, we celebrate someone who was willing to use a tragic and unfair circumstance in his life as a springboard to make a difference among the very people who enslaved him. Rather than run away for a conflict or opposition, Patrick moves toward it. Rather than buy into fear and say, well, they're a lost cause, he grew to love these outsiders, and he gave his life over to them. Patrick's tenacity, dedication to gracious hospitality, and his devotion to Christ serve as a model for all of us who call ourselves to be Christians. And indeed, from Ireland, the missionaries went across the water to a northern country, another Celtic country called Scotland. And there they shared the Word of God. And Christianize the Celts in Scotland. So go ahead today, wear your green. But if you're really going to honor St. Patrick, here's the best way for us to do it. The best way would be for you to offer some holy conversation to someone who needs it. To engage that person at work who might be difficult to you. To offer some help to a neighbor without being asked. To drop a note to someone who could use encouragement. To begin by connecting with someone you don't know. Know that the second you walk out of the church doors, you are a missionary who, like Patrick, is called to walk among the people of your community, offering them hospitality, friendship, and the good news of Jesus Christ. This is the kind of missionary work that can transform a community, even the world. So friends, we are called to be missionaries. We are called to follow Patrick's legacy, to go out into the world, to share the love of Christ, not just by sharing Christ's promises in the gospel, but by being there for other people, listening to them, helping them wherever we can. And do that. And we can say with conviction that there's a wee little bit of the Irish saint in all of us. Let us pray. Gracious and holy God, we thank you for this man called Patrick. This saint went out into the world, into Ireland, and brought your word about. Help us to follow his legacy. Help us to see the vision that you have given to us. The vision that Paul received to go to Macedonia. The vision that Patrick received to go to Ireland. Help us to see the vision to go out into the world. To serve others as you serve the world. We ask you these things in the name of Jesus the